talking before we went to the break, Kim, about the course that you were doing, the female entrepreneurship course.
That's right. If anyone is interested in it at the moment, they should contact Dimna McCarn out at the CITC.
So Dimna McCarn, just say it into the screen there.
Yeah, so Dimna McCarn at the CITC. And basically this particular course is ran here in Cavan but also in Enniskillen. And it's funded through Interreg 4A and through the SEUPB, so it's free. It won't cost you anything. And as regards the time commitment, it's 2 days per month really, one evening, a Monday evening generally, and a full day on a Tuesday. But you're introduced to all, to things like leadership, strategy, finance, which was a big reality check for me.
Finance is a good one for artists, I think, in general. We're not that great with our finance.
No. So thankfully I've gotten a few tips on managing money and looking at the whole business aspect of art, and I suppose that's why I found the course so good, just to get a little bit more business tuned.
Right.
But also a huge aspect of the course for me was building relationships with other women who are in a similar situation. Maybe they're not artists, but they could have been beauticians. One lady had a play centre. Local lady Lynn Sharkey, she's just written a book on her story, and she has a product called Maybe Baby, which is all about...
Oh, I've heard this.
Yeah, all about ovulation and knowing about your cycle and things like that.
And I think she was actually on here. She was on Business and Enterprise, so she was, with Colin.
Very good. Well, she was in the course.
That's a really interesting one, yeah.
Yeah,
So you're getting to mix with loads of great people and connect.
Absolutely. They're inspiring, and they're good mentors as well, because they're not necessarily in your field, but they could tell you a little bit about what's happening.
Yeah.
And
they'd be good to get some constructive criticism from them.
Absolutely.
People like that, people who are in the same boat as you, and who will treat you with honesty and respect, which you need, but not too critical like yourself. Like you said, that would, kind of shatter your confidence.
But
just really constructive criticism, someone who's trustworthy and someone who's in that field that you can say to. And so I think Irish people, and I'm just actually going to generalise here, it might be really hard. It's not in our nature to ask.
It's not in our nature to ask, and also it's not in our nation to promote ourselves either.
And I think women in particular, and this is a sexist comment I'm going to say, in particular, are not that great at promoting themselves, where I see men are fantastic at it.
Absolutely.
And that's a little bit, I know that's just me saying that, so I will take responsibility for my comment in the sense that, but I find that personally.
Yeah, but I totally agree with you, Siobhan, and that's the reason that I suppose these kind of networks are such a good idea, because you can often see strengths in other people that they may not see themselves.
Yeah.
So this gives you the opportunity to say, have you thought of such and such, and I think you're great at this. So,
and it's a safe environment to do so.
It is, and even it's opening up in a whole other area, because it's cross-border. Like, there was one lady, she was a beautician, she was coming from Donegal town. Another lady, she's a consultant, and she was coming from Armagh, so it was all over really.
Fantastic. So people come from all different areas. So, and you're actually networking throughout different areas as well.
Exactly.
But I find it fascinating that it's brilliant, because it's a wonderful, safe environment. So back then to the leadership, in the sense, like, what would our viewers get out of that?
Of leadership
and emotional intelligence.
Yeah, I think it's recognising themselves as a leader, even if I think sometimes leader is, again, I mentioned earlier, there's lots of different definitions of it, but leading by example. So to be obviously the best that they can be. So if you're going to read a book like this, I would imagine you're interested in self-development. So who am I at the moment? Who would I like to be? How do I get there? But again, through managing your own emotions, through self-care, and through building your own resilience, and then you'll find, because of the mood contagion or the mirror neurons that we've talked about, that you're going to start having a really positive impact on the people around you. So then you get the best from them, and they get the best from you. So your relationships hopefully will flourish a bit more, and your productivity at work, employers should be delighted with this, because your productivity is going to increase.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you were just saying managing, and it just brought to mind between managers and leaders, the difference between a manager, because some managers think they are leaders.
Yes.
And the difference between leadership. Would you like
Yeah,
to say
sometimes management is a little bit more around the technical aspect of things, but in a leader you have to have the ability to inspire, to motivate. Like, in terms of leadership, there are models. So there's the emotional intelligent model that we've been discussing, but there are also styles. So for me, within the whole area of creativity and facilitation, I would identify most with the affiliative styles, where really you want to get the best out of someone and you're building a rapport with them, you want to see them doing well. The visionary, where you can see the bigger picture, maybe where they're going, and inspire others along that area. And then the coaching style, where you really want to get someone up to their best performance, and where you see potential in people. And I think that's why, going back to the arts office and to all the Cavan Women's Business Network and all the things that we have locally, that's where we're really growing talent and supporting each other. And it's very important, I think, that we recognise what we have locally.
And there are some great people out there, like you said, like the Arts Office and
even Transart. Siobhan, you're involved in Transart, and that's brought so many things into the county. And Mary Farley there with Young Art. So there's a lot of different things happening, And in terms of emotional intelligence and its link to creativity, in terms of music, they say it's very obvious, because. When two people are playing the same instrument, the mirror neurons are coming in, and
so it's that connection, like I said, that connection. Because when people dance together as well, it's that synchronicity, it's that connection.
Yeah, and synchronicity is a good word for it, because it's happening quite naturally.
It's happening really naturally, and that's when you're not in your head.
Yes.
That's when you're allowing things to flow naturally, where you're not stressed or you're not...
And you don't have this inner critic.
You don't have that inner critic, that little Mexican Mick that is on your shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just allowing yourself to be.
Absolutely. Like, a lot of it's common sense, really.
Yeah. And then is there, and I know I'm going to ask another question that's probably going to ruffle a few feathers, but is there anyone that's better at it, or, as a leader, emotionally, they say women are a lot better emotionally than guys. But then you can get great guy leaders as well, men leaders.
Okay. Well, this is a really interesting question, actually, Siobhan, because in the day-to-day aspect of our lives, absolutely, generally, women are much more emotionally attuned. However, in studies of leaders, so perhaps CEOs or those who are involved in HR and organisations, there's very little difference between the men and the women, because at that stage, I think, men are much more emotionally attuned because they're in that team environment. Maybe they're reading lots of things by Daniel Goleman, I don't know.
Right.
But
so they develop it.
They develop it. Yeah, absolutely.
So women are kind of more naturally emotionally intelligent, say, than men, and that's probably
we have to take responsibility for that. Yeah,
probably get in trouble with that one. But guys then they're developing their intelligence and emotional intelligence. Excuse me, their emotional intelligence.
They can see
when
it's increasing productivity, Siobhan, there's a return on that. There's money.
Well, that's it.
So, and as you said earlier,
it's great for guys, or for leaders to know this, because there is a great return. When a person is happy, they will produce more.
Yes,
so they will.
Absolutely.
But then, can you be too emotionally intelligent?
I think sometimes it's not that you're too emotionally intelligent. It's actually that you're not managing your emotions. So sometimes what can happen is we're hyper-vigilant to others' emotions.
Okay, so what's hyper-vigilant?
Hyper-vigilant to somebody else's emotions is when someone steps into the room and you immediately know, oh no, that person's in a bad mood.
Right.
But you start taking responsibility for that.
Okay.
And you start working around it.
And you try to overcompensate and stuff like that.
Exactly.
This is where I start ignoring.
Yeah.
They don't exist. We've got this ignore shield.
Yeah, and you see, in terms of leadership, perhaps maybe a manager who's slightly dysfunctional will start trying to over accommodate this person.
Right.
So they might have to come in and give some bad news to, or basically say we're not hitting our targets, etc. But they don't say it perhaps, and then they want to overly take responsibility for that. Whereas if you're a team and if you've built up enough trust, and you should be able to say, listen, we need to up our game here, or whatever, because that rapport is already there. And then if it's a good manager, leader, team, relationship, then you're able to move towards those goals together. And if there's a bad day, there's a bad day, but you know that tomorrow then will be a good day.
Yeah, and you'll be able to do that. And then if someone was forced into the kind of those roles, you know, say someone out there that feels that they were forced into that role and they would like to you know, develop it, or even if you have a manager that's like that, how would you deal with it?
Yeah,
actually?
it's quite difficult, Siobhan. And I think that's why this book and all the information, like there's loads of articles out there on the internet at the moment about emotional intelligence and even building your own resilience, and it is important because we've talked about the positives of it, but you're right to bring up what happens if you have a manager who's particularly critical, for example. That is going to impact on your productivity, but sometimes with awareness comes the ability to say, well, that's their stuff.
That's their stuff.
It's not mine. And I'm here, I'm doing my best. And that's where having your own value system and your own sense of self, and that's where back to, you know, domain 1 and 2, self-awareness, self-management. I know I am doing my best here. And having that value system, you're able to say that is their stuff, it's not mine.
Well, Kim, that is just amazing, and that's a really good point to finish at, just to have your own self-awareness. And if you want to get in contact with Kim, her details are on the screen there, and Kim would be able to give you more information about leadership with emotional intelligence. Kim, thank you so much for coming into Fashion and Lifestyle. I have a little bit of a YouTube video for people who want to dress to impress, so it's always good for your own self-confidence to dress well, and it's 7 basic things to do with your little white dress, which is a fantastic YouTube video.
I've always believed that in order to create a great wardrobe, you must start off with the basics. So let's start off with one of my favorite basics, the little white dress. Today I will show you guys how to create 7 completely different looks for each day of the week. On Monday, you want to look sleek and chic for your business meeting. So you can layer your little white dress under a pair of wide leg trousers. When wearing wide leg trousers, you want to keep the top fitted. Remember, opposites attract. When your bottoms are loose and wide, stick with the fitted top, and when your bottoms are tight and fitted, stick with a loose and oversized top. And of course, you can completely change up a basic with the right accessories. On Tuesday, you need to run some errands in downtown. You want to be comfortable and casual while still looking chic. First, I layered the sheer black blazer, which is perfect for the summer since it's super lightweight. I toughened it up by adding the sleeveless army jacket. And I paired it up with my favorite pair of combat boots by Penelope and Coco. I love the studded details on this boot. As you can see, a little white dress can also be dressed down and be worn casually and comfortably. On Wednesday, you want to look cute and preppy on campus and while you are in class. Let's start off with a nice button-up blouse. Then layer your little white dress over your blouse. You can wear it as simple as this, but I'm going to add one more layer. Take a cute skirt that is a little longer in length than the little white dress and layer it on top. A trench coat, which is another wardrobe basic, can instantly make any outfit look elegant and ladylike. Since this outfit is quite bland in color, I paired it with these leopard print loafers. It's the perfect pop of print. On Thursday, you want to look girly and casual to meet up with your girlfriends for lunch. If you don't have an oversized top in your closet, try going through your brother's, boyfriend's, or even dad's closet. I'm sure they have a button-up top somewhere. And to polish up the look, I added a thick waist belt to make the oversized top look like it was tailor-made to fit my body. It's finally Friday, so you want to welcome the weekend with something casual and cool. This look is very simple. I layered this cozy oversized sweater on top of my little white dress. To make this little white dress more daytime appropriate, find a sweater or top that is a little longer in the back to counterbalance out the shortness of the dress. And now you are weekend ready. And of course, you want to look glamorous and sexy on a Saturday night with the ladies. Another reason why the little white dress is a wardrobe essential is because it also works as a slip under a sheer dress like this one. Layering a bodycon dress under a form-fitting outfit can contour your body and tuck you Sundays are perfect for a romantic picnic for two. It's all about looking effortlessly breezy and romantic. Here I layered a flowy maxi skirt over my little white dress. A high-waist maxi skirt will elongate your legs and accentuate the smallest part of your body. When trying to achieve the boho chic look, accessories are essential. Try adding shades of brown and copper to your outfit to give it more of an earthy and boho feel to it. Although you might not wear the little white dress Monday through Sunday, and if you do, I hope you do your laundry, I hope this video gave you some inspiration on how to style your basic.